everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nikki and I'm so glad you've come to join me today. So today's video, we're going to be talking about another top 5, but this is my top 5 quick service restaurants at the Disneyland Resort. Now, when I talk about the Disneyland Resort, I am talking about the 2 parks that they have there, which is Disneyland Park and Disney's California Adventure, the Downtown Disney District, and the 3 Disney on-property hotels. Now, it is so hard to narrow down just 5 of the best quick services, in my opinion. I would have some honorary mentions, but I think that video would probably end up being about 45 minutes. So I'm just sticking to the 5, and these can be interchangeable. It all depends on the season and the restaurant and what I'm feeling at the time. Before I go into that, are you subscribed? If you're not, I hope that you will consider joining me here in my YouTube community. And if you are already subscribed, welcome back, and I'm so glad you've come to join me again. Now, the criteria I used for this. Now, I didn't want to use quick service in terms of snacks. I was thinking about actual full meals, or at least places where you can get a huge snack that can be considered a meal. So you're not going to see things like Dole Whips and churro stands for the quick service. I'm talking about things where you can actually get a breakfast, a lunch, or a dinner and make it a substantial meal. And I really hope that you'll see some great suggestions and that you'll add them to your next Disneyland trip. All right, now the rest of these will not be in any particular order, but I do have to start with my number 1, my OG, the Bengal Barbecue. Now, the Bengal Barbecue is located in Adventureland, pretty much right across from Indiana Jones Adventure and the Jungle Cruise. Bengal Barbecue offers meat skewers like beef and chicken. They also do pork belly, or they have in the past. I'm not sure if they still do that at the time of recording. They also do some bacon wrapped asparagus. They do a lot of frozen type slushy type drinks, and they also have some kid-friendly items as well. Bengal Barbecue had really limited seating at first, but they just recently expanded their offerings in terms of tables just in the last year or 2. So you're able to get your food and you're able to sit down right away and enjoy your beef skewer or your vegetables. Now, my favorite dish over at the Bengal Barbecue that I can recommend is the Banyan beef skewers. These are about 3 or 4 chunks of beef on a stick, and they are in this super savory, spicy brown sauce. And they don't skimp on the sauce. They give you a lot of sauce, which is great because I'm a saucy type of girl. And it is so good. It has the perfect amount of flavor, and it does give you quite a kick. So if you don't like spicy, you might want to go towards like the Polynesian sauce for the chicken or something like that. But I really think that if you can handle a little bit of spice, you can't go wrong with the beef banyan skewer. And I love those sticks so much, I usually order 2 because I'll have 1. That's good for a snack. If I want a meal, I'm ordering 2 of those bad boys. All right, number 2 on the list, and again, the rest of these are not in order, is Flo V8's Cafe at Disney's California Adventure in the famous Cars Land. Now, Flo's V8 Cafe is all about all-American food and in an all-American diner type setting. But because it's in Cars Land, they have a lot of Cars memorabilia. A lot of the decorations that you're gonna see are kind of geared towards vehicle type of customers like you would imagine to see in Radiator Springs. Flo's does have indoor and outdoor seating. I personally prefer indoor because I really like to look at the memorabilia as I'm eating my food. Now, Flo's does serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they also offer the Disney check meals, which are your typical, yogurts with carrot sticks and milk, those sort of type of items for your kids. Now, to be honest, when I do go to Flo's, I usually try to go during breakfast time. They have some really great offerings for breakfast where you can actually sit down and enjoy them. If I have to make a recommendation for breakfast, I really love the brioche French toast. It's such a really great, sweet, indulgent type of meal. For lunch and dinner, I really love the Blue Plate Special, especially if you like pulled pork, you have to try this. It's so tender and flavorful. Now, my husband, he really likes, I believe it's called the Ramona Lowrider. If it's incorrect, I'll put it right here on the screen so I can tell you what exactly it's called, but it's just a good old-fashioned turkey club sandwich on sourdough bread. Okay, my third recommendation, we're heading back over to Disneyland Park and we're going to the Jolly Holiday Bakery and Cafe. Can you talk about quick service at Disneyland without mentioning the Jolly Holiday? No, you cannot. Now, where can you find the Jolly Holiday? You are going to find it right in the hub of Main Street. It's right outside of Sleeping Beauty's castle. If you're looking directly at the castle, it's going to be on your left-hand side. Now, this iconic location serves cafe style food. You're going to find sandwiches, you're going to find soups, you're going to find sandwiches, and you're going to find a lot of great bakery type of offerings. It is open for all meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a lot of people come for those late night desserts on their way out of the park. Now, my favorite dish is the most popular dish at Jolly Holiday. You really can't go wrong with the grilled cheese sandwich with the tomato soup. Oh my gosh, guys, I've ordered this so many times, and let me tell you, the bread is never over browned. It is always perfectly toasted with really gooey American cheese inside. The tomato soup is nice and thick. It has a great savory tomato taste with a perfect amount of basil, and just all I need to do is just add a couple dashes of pepper and it is the perfect meal. It's really great comfort food. It really sticks to your bones. And you know, Disneyland isn't like Walt Disney World where most of the time it's really warm. It can be quite chilly for about half of the year over at Disneyland. So if it gets rainy or if it's chilly, you really can't go wrong with the classic grilled cheese and tomato soup. Now, if it's summertime or if the weather's really warm, I recommend the Jolly Holiday salad. Now, this is a salad with mixed greens. It had candied pecans, it has feta cheese, it has dried cranberries, and it does have a little bit of veggies, I think some tomatoes, and it comes with a really nice light vinaigrette to put on top. It is a refreshing salad that I recommend for the summer months. All right, my fourth recommendation, we are going across the Esplanade again, and we are going to Disney's California Adventure to the Pacific Wharf Cafe. The Pacific Wharf Cafe is located at the Pacific Wharf, which is between Pixar Pier and Cars Land. Now, we always end up at the wharf because it's such a central location, and also the wharf has so many different type of offerings for our family. So there's a bunch of quick service locations. There's a Mexican offering. There is the cafe, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. There's some Asian type flair, and so there is a little bit of everything for everybody. And they also have a margarita stand, and you know, sometimes mama just needs a margarita. Well, getting back to the Pacific Wharf Cafe, it is open for lunch and dinner only. And if the Jolly Holiday was about comfort food, Pacific Wharf, you take that comfort food level and you times it by about 10 to 20. I'm talking about you're gonna find your sourdough bread bowls. You're gonna find the most amazing creamy soups. You're gonna find salads. You're gonna find really hearty sandwiches. And you're gonna find some great desserts, including bread pudding. The Pacific Wharf Cafe also serves whole loaves of sourdough bread. They have the Bodine mini factory right next door. So if you're looking to just bring home some loaves of bread, you can do that here at the Pacific Wharf Cafe. We have so many favorites here at the Pacific Wharf Cafe. My husband, he always likes to get the potato and cheese soup in the sourdough bread bowl. He is also that guy that every time we go to Disney's California Adventure, it doesn't matter if we're eating at the cafe or not, he is going to make a stop there to go grab some of that Bodine sourdough loaves. And he will eat literally a loaf of sourdough bread. He will just gnaw on it in the middle of the parks, and he'll usually finish about at least a half a loaf before we even get back to the hotel that night. Now for me, I really love the broccoli and cheddar soup in the sourdough bread bowl. It is so good, and I'm talking about so cheesy. The broccoli is actually probably the secondary note, which I kind of prefer, but it is such a great dish that you really can't go wrong with, and it is a fan favorite. And I try to make room because I can't ever refuse a bread pudding. So they do have a bread pudding that changes seasonally, and I've tried it a couple times and it is very good. But I'm usually low carb, but no, at this place, this is carb central. So if you're gonna stay on keto or low carb while you're at the parks, this isn't probably a place that you're gonna want to visit. All right, and for number 5 on my top 5 quick service locations, it is a fairly new one, and it is the Tropical Hideaway at Disneyland, also in Adventureland. Now, if you're looking for the Tropical Hideaway, you're just gonna go right past the Tiki Room as you're coming in from Main Street, and you're gonna find it on your left-hand side. Now, this is a fairly new location. It has a really great tiki vibe, obviously tropical. It's called the Tropical Hideaway. You're gonna find a lot of things to look at while you're eating your food. There's a lot of little Easter eggs that you can find that really tie into the Tiki Room, including that missing bird Rosita. She just never happens to be at the Tiki Room, does she? That's because she's over hanging out at the Tropical Hideaway. On the official Disneyland website, they mainly call everything that is served over at the Tropical Hideaway snacks, but I actually find them to be meals, which is why I included it in my list. You're gonna find baos, which are, the steamed buns, and those are very filling. You're gonna find your variations of Dole Whips. You're gonna find the grab and go salad shakers that have the ramen noodles in them. So you can find a lot of great meal items here. Now for my favorite dish, I love Dole Whips, but if I'm gonna get a Dole Whip, I'm gonna go get it over at the regular Dole Whip bar right outside the Tiki Room. Here, I usually like to get the baos. Now, I usually like the beef bao, but it looks like it's not on the latest menu that they had before they closed down. They have more of like a cheeseburger type one, but out of the offerings that they currently have as of recording, I really like their spiced vegetable bao. Usually my kids wouldn't really like something that just has vegetables in it, but they spice it very well that they don't know that they're actually having a serving of vegetables in their steamed bun. And I will usually have 2 of those and I'm set for a meal. They do have a new, it's called a sweet lumpia, I believe. I believe it's, I don't know if it's pineapple and jackfruit or if it's banana and jackfruit. I'll add that here just so you can know what I'm talking about, but it sounds so good. And they also have different types of seasonal lumpia. They add so many items to the menu and they change it so often that you kind of don't ever get bored with the menu. And there's always something that's enticing me to go back. That is my top 5 quick service locations over at the Disneyland Resort. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Or is there something that you think that I really missed the mark with? I'd love to hear from you either way. Why don't you leave me a comment down below? And also if you have any recommendations for me to try next time, I would love to hear from you. Now there are so many quick service locations at Disneyland, and a lot of the times it just depends what I want. Sometimes I want a corn dog. Nothing that I really talked about today has corn dogs. So there's many options for corn dogs. There's many options for cheeseburgers. Disneyland is so well known for hitting the mark on food that you really can't go wrong. And also, I think most of the options that I gave you here today and most of their quick service locations are allergy friendly. So you will find a gluten-free menu, you will find dairy-free, and you can also find some nut-free options. All right, if you liked this video, I hope that you will give me the big thumbs up and maybe share with other people that you know that might be going to Disneyland and need some ideas. And if you haven't already, I hope that you will consider hitting that red subscribe button and joining me with more videos every week. And I want to say thank you for spending the last few minutes with me. I hope I'll see you again. Bye-bye.